Now to the most important part of every show. Our guest today is Danny Hawkins, the North Enotah Drug Court coordinator. Welcome, Danny.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you for having me.
I saw you speak at the Movers and Shakers and thought, wow, this is good information. What y'all do is amazing. It is a great alternative. I thought very progressive. And some people don't like that term progressive, but our society, our culture is based on progress, I think, and I really think what y'all are doing is progress. First, for those who are unfamiliar, can you explain what is the North Enotah Drug Court?
Okay, well, a drug court is a form of alternative sentencing, also known as accountability courts.
Ooh, I like that.
The Enotah Circuit, which would be Townsend Union County, and then also White and Lumpkin, has four accountability courts. We've got the drug court, a parental accountability court, family treatment court, and then the Star Court, also known as the mental health court. The North Enotah Drug Court covers Townsend Union County. And what we want to do with the drug court is address the problem, the cause of the problem. You've got somebody with a pending felony charge, some way drug related, or the person's got a substance use issue. Let's get them treatment for the problem rather than just lock them up.
Very good, very good. Do you have to have been, can people just volunteer to participate, or is this, hey, I've been arrested, this is an alternative to going to prison?
With the drug court, there has to be a felony charge pending.
Okay.
So it's not an open program. Most of our referrals come through a defense attorney, but we also get some referrals through the local probation department, some actually through the jail and through the district attorney's office.
Okay. Who, I'm going to phrase, who can participate in the program? So we know they have to have a pending felony charge. I would think that a lot of folks would apply. I mean, is there a process? Okay, here are the requirements. You say you want to participate, but what are y'all looking for?
Okay. First of all, we exclude people with histories of violent
okay.
acts and also sex offenders.
Okay.
It has to be a pending felony charge. The person has to have a substance use issue. The district attorney's office will do a background check to see if there's any history of legal problems in the past that would exclude them.
Very good.
If not, then once we get the approval from the district attorney's office, we set up an assessment. The program is set up to look at people with the highest need, highest problem on test scores. So we want to get the most in need people into the program.
When you say test scores,
There's a couple of different screening instruments, the LSCMI, and I couldn't tell you what that stands for, but it.
let's make something up, Packy. We'll go. No. Let's keep it.
So there's the LSCMI, substance abuse screening called the SASE, and we're looking for people that have a high need, a high chance of recidivism.
Very good.
Because that's what the program is designed to do, is to cut back on this recidivism.
Yeah, there's always that running joke that you send them to prison, they just become more, they get a PhD in crime.
That's what I like to say is just sending somebody to prison with a drug charge, there's two things I can guarantee when they get out. One is they'll be a better criminal, and two, they're still going to have a substance use issue.
Yeah.
So let's treat the issue, and hopefully we can keep them out of prison.
Now, I think you touched on this briefly earlier, but what areas specifically does the North Enotah Drug Court serve?
We serve Townsend Union County. The other two counties within our circuit then would be served by the South Enotah Drug Court,
Okay.
working out of Dahlonega.
All right. I don't know a family. If you're out there listening and you may be thinking, well, drugs. I don't know a family that hasn't been in some way touched by drugs. I know my family has. I was talking with some folks when scheduling this, and I don't know a family that isn't touched by drugs. So you may be out there listening thinking, oh, well, my family. No, no, there's probably someone you don't know about or you don't want to talk about that has been touched. Uh, do you have any idea of how many folks y'all serve a year or how many are in the program a year?
We're currently working with 22 people in various stages from initial referral to phase 5 of our program. So there's 22 people within that process. We've had, I believe the last check, 250 people that have been admitted to the program since we opened in 2013.
2013. Now, y'all are a state agency?
We're a, an agency through the court system.
Okay.
We're funded by an organization called the um, Council of Accountability Court Judges, and they set the standards and set the certification. The head of our program would be Judge Buck Levins, who's Superior Court Judge here in the circuit.
Okay. Who staffs the Enotah Drug Court? Do you have volunteers or who's staffing it? Besides you, you're the coordinator.
I'm the coordinator. What's great about this is it's a true team effort. From, as I mentioned, Judge Levins, who's our leader. We have representative from the District Attorney's Office, the Public Defender's Office, Probation Department, Sheriff's Departments in both Towns and Union County provide surveillance and do our drug screens. And then we contract with an outside treatment provider, Cornerstone's Counseling out of Cleveland, that does the actual counseling for our program.
Very good. Tell us, how did you get involved? Tell us a little about yourself.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I'm fortunate that I'm able to self-disclose is that I am a person in long-term recovery.
All right.
35 years ago, I was standing before a judge, and fortunately, I had a lot of good resources available. I had very good health insurance. I lived in the metro Atlanta area, so there's lots of treatment providers, lots of community meetings. I had everything set up to be able to get my life back together at that time. And the judge went with that. People in a lot of areas don't have those resources available to them, and that's where a drug court comes in. If I hadn't had those resources available 35 years ago, things could have been very much different.
Right.
But at that time, then I decided that I wanted to be involved in the addiction field. I got my certification and have been working as a substance abuse counselor since that time.
How many years?
Actually, 35 next month.
Wow. Everyone likes to use the expression "have seen it all," but I've got to think 35 years.
It is literally one day at a time, though. One of the things they talk about a lot in the recovery programs is to take it one day at a time. Tomorrow's not promised. I know today I'm going to do the things I need to do to maintain my recovery. I'll deal with tomorrow when it comes.
Today, our guest is Danny Hawkins, the North Enotah Drug Court coordinator. Drugs in some way touch nearly every family. It's one of the reasons I really wanted to have you on. I thought this was a great, I think it's progress. I think it's the right direction. Locking someone up because they made a stupid life choice and putting them in prison, I don't think is always the right answer. I do like that y'all screen as far as violence and things of that nature. Let me ask you, let's say, let's go through the process. I have a pending drug, it's a felony, a pending drug charge. I'm probably referred to you by my defense lawyer or the probation.
Yes, there's a referral form that would be filled out and sent to me.
Okay.
If anybody wants one, they can just contact our office. Can I give my
Yeah,
email?
100%.
Contact either me at my email, which would be dhawkins.nedc@gmail.com.
Give it down again. They're driving.
dhawkins.nedc, that would be North Enotah Drug Court, at gmail.com.
And that's Hawkins, Hawkine, or INS.
Yes.
Okay.
Or call me directly at 762-500-3474. We can get your referral form. Once I've got that, I would send it on to the district attorney's office for clearance. We get that clearance, set them up for an assessment. We can do assessments either in jail or in our office if somebody's currently incarcerated. We get that, set up a time then for them to plea in. There's a contract several pages long of program rules and requirements. Once somebody pleas in, then we would get them started in the program.
Does it have to be court approved?
Yes, they are pleading in the Superior Court in front of Judge Levins.
So they sign it. You've done your background. Okay, this is a good candidate. They enter into a contract.
Yes.
And that contract, you go before a judge and you plead it out.
Right. They're pleading guilty to the charges.
Right.
And then their sentence is a requirement of their sentence is to complete the drug court program.
Before we go into the details of the drug court program, some people are slow learners and they've done something dumb. And let's say they do something again, and I use the term dumb, maybe not the best term, but let's say they make another poor life choice decision, and what happens? What are the consequences in the program if they, I'm sure their drug tests, they don't pass a drug test?
Right. Okay. We would differentiate them between an admission of drug use
Very
or
good.
somebody that gets caught.
Okay, very
We
good.
do drug screens 3 to 4 times a week when they're first coming into the program. There are consequences for violation of program rules, including positive drug screens. That could be anything from a minor offense that would be writing a paper, possibly what we call bench duty, where somebody has to go in and observe court for a day, up to periods of incarceration.
Okay.
If continued rules violations or drug use, they risk the possibility of termination from the program, in which case their sentence would be reimposed.
Okay. Let's go back to that contract. I remember taking contract law. There's normally consideration. I'm going to do this for you, and you're going to do this for me. I mean, it's a quid pro quo, so to speak. What are their requirements?
Their requirements are, and I'm always amused when somebody says, well, they're getting a slap on the wrist. A drug court program is intensive. There's a lot of accountability.
That's what I'm looking for.
When they're first coming into the program, they're coming in 5 nights a week to treatment. They're attending outside meetings the other 2 nights. So they're doing something 7 days a week.
Wow.
They start off, there's a period in the morning from 5 a.m. to 7:30 that they have to check in with an app that tells them whether or not they need to drug screen that morning. If they do, they need
And that's
to be,
random.
That's random.
Very good.
3 to 4 times a week to begin with, and then that decreases over the course of the program. They have to be in by 8:30 to do the drug screen. There's a curfew in the evening starting at 8 p.m. in phase 1, and it, again, gets later as the program progresses. There's lots of requirements as far as papers to do, classes. All of the classes that we use are evidence-based programs through a federal agency called SAMHSA that checks out the veracity of programs, make sure that they are effective.
Right. You mentioned 5 nights a week of treatment. When you use the term treatment, what are you referring to?
They're receiving counseling and group therapy by licensed or certified counselors.
Okay.
Again, through the outside company that we contract with.
Okay. And the drug tests start out, and as they prove themselves, I take it as fewer.
It decreases over time, but they're still getting a couple a week through the entire 2 years of the program.
Okay. What type of, I'm in the program, I've signed the contract, I have to agree to so many. I take it they give up a Fourth Amendment right.
They do.
Regarding the search and seizure.
They do.
There's a waiver I'm taking in the contract.
That is part of in fact, a separate waiver
Okay.
that they sign.
All right. Been a long time since law school, but I'm sitting there thinking, oh, there's a right they're giving up there. Well, that's good, though.
Yeah, so-
It's necessary.
And that's an important part of the program, too, is that we have surveillance officers that are through the local sheriff's departments that will go out and do home visits at night.
Oh, wow.
And they will search the home, search the vehicles. They can search the participants' phones to make sure that there's not any program violations
No,
going on.
very good.
No drugs in the home, no alcohol in the home.
Okay. One of the things that really touched me when I was at the Movers and Shakers was that you had a young man there that really turned his life around. I mean, we all make mistakes in life. If let he who has not sinned throw the first stone. Well, no stones were thrown. What do you see? Tell me about some of the success stories, because that just really touched me.
That's what it's about, is when you're able to see somebody that's graduating, that you saw them when they first came in, beaten down, all of the shame and stigma that goes along with having a substance use problem, to seeing them reestablish contact and relationships with their family, their children. We require people to be working to get their GED. So it's a holistic process that you see people from beginning to end turn their lives around.
Right.
And that's what this is about.
This young man got his family back, got a job, and the goal to me in everything in life is becoming a productive individual. Whether you're going through this program or just in life, become more productive. Help your fellow man, and that's what I loved about your program.
And that was great too with the young man you were speaking of, Ethan, that he's able to come out and share his story, his experience, strength, and hope with others, hopefully to get them to be able to start turning theirs around. And he's still doing that type of work in the community.
Very good. It was, when I look at stuff like this, at first I'm like, oh, there is no way that you couldn't pay me enough money to be willing. But then when you see these success stories, those are moving.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And it's also that it's verifiable with statistics. It's not,
Right.
We can do anecdotally, okay, I saw this, but
What's your success rate?
our success rate, the most telling figure is an 8% recidivism rate with graduates, opposed to over 54% for people that don't graduate from a drug court program.
And that's why, folks, today's show was so important. Please give them a call if you need them. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.